Hey HCG lovelies, it's HCGVeganChic here with my VLCD round 2 P2 day 17 update for my day 4 update of the Raw Challenge. As you know, I've been a little concerned with the fact that I was losing over a pound or a pound a day, essentially. I know that that's what I'm supposed to be losing, but when crunching numbers, looking at it and seeing that not enough of it is body fat and that more of it could potentially be water or muscle mass, so that made me nervous, and my body decided to even out today and actually had me gain 0.4 today. But my body fat percentage measured out at 0.6 lower than previously measured the day before. So that meant that I actually lost body fat and either gained water or muscle. My guess is that I gained water because my yoga class wasn't quite as intense as normal, so I didn't quite sweat out as much water as I normally do. So no big deal, otherwise I would have probably stayed the same today. I am hoping that the numbers will continue to decrease tomorrow. I do think that I mentally sabotaged myself yesterday as well as physically sabotaged myself yesterday because I made the chocolate delight. I don't actually know if I made it the way it's supposed to be made, but essentially I took 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and added some maca powder and some some cacao powder to it, raw cacao, and mixed that up and froze it, and then ate about half of it. So I ate about a tablespoon of extra coconut oil last night. And it was really good. I loved it, and I wanted to eat all of it. And so I knew that that was going to be an issue, that I can't make this and sustain it because I want to eat more of it. And then I also made substitutions yesterday to the meal plan, which may have increased the amount of calories for that particular day because I didn't do the curry coconut soup. I actually did the minestrone soup and ate it actually directly after class when I wasn't quote-unquote hungry, which I think could have also led to the fact that I was having cravings for sweets last night. But I think a lot of it has to do with self-sabotage because I was talking about the fact that I was worried about losing weight as quickly that I may have mentally psyched myself out. So mentally, I'm psyching myself back into the normal weight loss of a pound a day. I would love to see by the end of next week to be down to 125, 120. Actually, I'm 12 pounds from my goal of 120, and that would be 12 days from now. So if I am 7 days, that would be put me down at, I can't even do math this quickly, at 125. So in the next 7 days, if I can get down to the 125, that would be fantastic. But in that, I was saying that I was getting a little psyched out by mentally psyching myself out and self-sabotaging. That kind of goes back into the emotional side of eating, and then, of course, the issues that we all have with food, especially here in the United States, when we have an abundance of food and can make whatever we want, whenever we want, eat whatever we want, however much of it that we want, as long as we can pay for it, as Robin Woodall tells in her Weight Loss Apocalypse book. I decided to reread that book, so I've actually pulled that one out, and I started journaling some stuff with that as well, and just writing down quotes from her that I really felt impacted me as I was reading it. So the very first one that I'm going to share with you actually is one that really hits home, because just because you have minimal hunger doesn't mean that you won't eat. Obviously, with most diets, people eat because they're hungry and they feel deprived and they want to eat food. And we all know that with HCG, you don't feel hunger. But just because you don't have hunger doesn't mean that you won't necessarily eat. And just because you have a significant fat loss doesn't mean that you will be motivated to change the way you eat forever. And that is where P3 comes in and P4 and beyond. And it's, taking this time to really reevaluate your relationship with food, my relationship with food, and my crutches that I have, and knowing that even though, I'm losing a significant amount of fat and my body is completely reshaping, and I have more confidence, and I look fantastic, and I have new clothing sizes, and I'm awesome with that. None of that is motivation enough to keep me from not going back to my old food patterns. I have to make that choice to change the way I eat, to introduce new foods, substitutions, if you want to say, but introducing new substances and foods that will actually nourish my body and keep me in a state easily. And that's where a lot of my Thrive Nutrition came in. Annie's Raw Foods are also working. Annie Fo or Fio, I'm not exactly sure how her last name is pronounced, but that's whose raw weeks I'm following for the next 2 weeks. As long as everything, continues to stay status quo, as long as we see gains or losses again tomorrow, we are good to continue on this plan. Um, you know, we eat for so many different reasons, and I know that I eat out of boredom, and I know that that's something that I have to continue to tackle and monitor. And I almost felt as though last night that's one of the things that I did is I self-sabotaged myself because I, one, was worried about getting too skinny, but honestly, I've decided that I can't be too skinny because I can always put on muscle, I can always gain weight, but I need to utilize this time to really focus on losing all of the fat that I've ever wanted to lose, because that's what it's meant for. I know that, there are so many amazing, amazing quotes in here, and I want to get into blogging more about some of these, as well as, maybe doing more blog tutorials or more vlogs in general regarding them. But another really great quote that I had here from her was, even if someone has little hunger and no symptoms of starvation, his or her emotional distress is far worse than physical when it comes to eating less on the protocol. So I know there's a lot of us who struggle with starvation. We're starving once we start this protocol. And it's really not so much about being starving as it is a mental game with ourselves that we feel a lack, we feel deprived, we feel that we're not getting what we want and that there's too many limitations on what we can do. And as I like to say, we need to change the tape in our head. If we can't change the tape in our head, then we are wasting our time doing this protocol because we're going to go right back to the old patterns of eating, the old, quick, fast McDonald's and drive-throughs and eating fatty foods and things that aren't nutritious for our body, that aren't helping us to heal our and such, then we might as well never have gone through this. It is a taxing, it is tiring, it is a challenge, but you need to look at it as a challenge for yourself versus a challenge for the food. You're not being deprived. You are not being limited. You simply are making choices that will ultimately impact your life in the long run. And as long as you are continuing to do that, then you need to also fess up that it's not as bad as you think it is. That really it is just going to be a challenge for a short period of time. And in this time, I'm going to make decisions to do things better for myself. So what's one of the reasons why I really love Robin's book, and I hope that you have read it, and if you have not, I highly suggest reading it, Weight Loss Apocalypse, Curing Emotional Hunger Through HCG. It is a phenomenal book, and again, like I said, I'm rereading it now during this round, as well as I probably will go back and reread Pounds and Inches, even though by the time I get to it, it's going to be almost done. So that's my update for today. I hope that you all are doing fantastic and that you're having a great Labor Day weekend. Hoping that the challenges aren't too challenging for you this weekend, that you keep yourself prepared and ready to go for the holidays around all the gluttonous eating that is created in our cultural society around food. You can find me at HCGVeganChic.com, the HCGVeganChic on Facebook, HCGVeganChic on Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, and of course right here on YouTube. I'll see you again, lovelies. Bye.